It's been a wild ride for Bitcoin this month and this year. The cryptocurrency going from the highs near $20,000 to the lows near $3,000. And our next guest says the crypto craze is over. Borrowing a line from William Shakespeare in his latest scathing note titled, "I come to bury Bitcoin, not to praise it." The author of that piece, UBS's global chief economist Paul Donovan, joins us now on the Fast Line. Paul, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Were you always a Bitcoin skeptic? I mean, were you just waiting for this moment in time where a bubble would seem to pop and then you can pop this note out to bury Bitcoin?
To be perfectly honest, I think anyone with a high school education in economics has been a Bitcoin skeptic right from the start. These things were never going to be currencies. They're not going to be currencies at any point in the future. They're fatally flawed. And as a result, I think right from the start of the hype in sort of late last year, it was fairly obvious that this was going to end badly. Unfortunately, for some of the people who weren't protected by any kind of regulation and got sucked into the process.
So all those people, the people who used to come from banks like UBS and went to start their own crypto funds, all those people are just, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're calling them stupid, that they couldn't see that this whole thing was just a false narrative from the start.
Well, I mean, the problem with any bubble is that it tends to come about when there is something innovative, something new in terms of technology, and it allows that dread phrase, "this time it's different," to be uttered. And of course, that's exactly what we had with the cryptocurrencies. There were a lot of people who perhaps didn't fully comprehend what was going on with quantitative policy and thought that printing money would create hyperinflation, in spite of the fact that printing money doesn't create inflation at all. It's printing too much money that's the problem. And so we had a lot of confusion over this and concerns, and so you get this hype coming out. Now, the underlying technology of blockchain, the distributed ledger system, that's different. I mean, there's an economic proposition there. Again, there's a certain amount of hype around it. But to go from that into Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar is quite a leap.
Is there no use case for Bitcoin? Because even the St. Louis Fed has a white paper out saying that in economies and in societies where corruption in the government is rampant and there is severe devaluation of the currencies, there might be a use case for cryptocurrencies.
Well, I think if you're looking at a situation where government ceases to exist, to all intents and purposes, that does help remove one of the main obstacles, which is you can't pay taxes in Bitcoin. Some people claim that you can in various locations, but you can't. You pay it in the currency of the government, and they may offer you a deal where you can convert your Bitcoin at a very disadvantageous exchange rate. So if you don't have a government, then society gets a little bit more anarchic, and in that situation, something like a cryptocurrency does still come through. But the main problem with these things, the absolute fundamental flaw, is that they're never going to be a store of value. Every economist knows the store of value is about balancing supply and demand. And with cryptocurrencies, you cannot control the supply in response to a drop in demand.
Okay. Paul, thanks so much for phoning in. Provocative note. I'm sure you know.
Thank you.
Paul Donovan, UBS's global chief economist. By the way, Ohio just announced that it is accepting Bitcoin for tax payments. So there is one example of that out there. Dan, what do you say to this?
Listen, he's right now. You know what I mean? So some of the pillars of the bull case, the store of value, the scarcity, those things.
It was never a store of value.
Well, I know, but
I don't think you're saying that.
What I'm saying is, but that was one of the core, bull cases,
yeah.
and it's kind of out the window at this moment. But is gold a store of value? I mean, is it? But there's an ecosystem around it, and I think that's the most important thing about Bitcoin right now is that it is the first popularized distributed ledger use case right now. You know what I mean? And so that has the potential to kind of grow back into some other use cases.